my friend, and welcome back. I wanted to tell you guys about my experience over at Animanga at the Ontario location. That was the con that I said I was going to go to not last week, week before. I don't have any footage to really show you guys. I did take pictures of my cosplay, and I'll have that later on in my video when I talk about my cosplay experience. But to just start my experience from the very beginning, I don't know how to start this. So there's a huge delta wave kind of spreading around in the larger cities near me. And where Ontario is located, it's about an hour or so away from Los Angeles, where this delta wave is happening. At least an hour away from like LAX, the big airport. But if you were traveling from like out of state, a lot of the time you would just fly in from LAX and go where you need to go. And I'm sure there were a lot of people from the LA area coming out to Ontario to come to this cute little convention, because it was fairly small and like tickets were only $25. So that just kind of shows you what kind of convention this was. Like, it wasn't anything too particularly large. There wasn't a whole lot of events. And of the convention, there was maybe like 2 wings kind of reserved, and it's like a huge convention with like an upstairs and everything. It's a small convention, and it's right in an area where there's a lot of people traveling. You were supposed to be wearing masks. If you were standing outside, like, you didn't have to wear the mask, but inside you definitely had to wear them. But after even being in there for the first hour, you could tell a lot of people took off their masks or never even had them on, and there wasn't really anyone enforcing any mask wearing. So I don't know, it was weird for me to kind of have my camera out and like film things, because I don't know, you should be wearing a mask. I didn't want to get anyone in trouble, and like, there also wasn't a whole lot to film, if I'm being honest. Like, it was such a small convention, and I don't know what I was anticipating either people going all out with their cosplays because, you know, we've had a year of no conventions, or people just being like, I'm gonna wear my anime t-shirt and, you know, basketball shorts because like I still have to wear a mask and there's gonna be a lot of people. And this is common with conventions across the board. Like, my last like era of conventions, when I was heavily cosplaying and going to cons, Attack on Titan had just come out, like the very first season, so everyone was like an Eren Yeager or a Levi or a Mikasa, or just wearing the cape and, you know, the little blades that they use. But this time around, everything was Demon Slayer. Everybody was either Tanjiro or Zenitsu. There was like a few Inosuke's, a few Rengokus, but everyone was like Tanjiro, or like not even fully in cosplay, just wearing, you know, like I don't want to say the lazy man's cosplay, but, you know, they were just wearing the thing from like Hot Topic or like easycosplay.com. So there wasn't like too much, and like, I don't know, I thought that there would be more JoJo's because Stone Ocean was announced, was confirmed, and we have these beautiful pictures for Stone Ocean right now. And I saw one Jolene, I saw one old Joseph, I saw one Jotaro, I saw a young Joseph. Did I say that already? I saw an old Joseph, and later on I saw a young Joseph. And I think I saw a Josuke, or maybe it was supposed to be Jotaro. But no, I think it was Josuke because I think he had the little tail. There was no Giornos. There was a Dio too. There was a lady who was Dio. I don't know if she was walking around with an Abakio. I wish I had gotten a picture with her, because Bruno Bucciarati and Abacchio would have been so cute. I didn't even get a picture with the Dio. It was just hard to kind of like stop people, because when I saw my JoJo cosplays, we were doing the like passing by each other, and they're, you know, like the booths are so tight in the convention halls. It's hard to just kind of stop and turn around. So I was nervous about filming because, like I said, it was just in a very hot spot location, and it was very like close quarters. I'll insert a picture here of the map of like the convention hall, because the entrance to the convention wasn't even the front doors of the Ontario Convention Center. It was like a side entrance. The line wrapped around so far, so long, and that was like a huge complaint over the entire weekend, was that like that line took so long, and if you went outside you would have to get back in that line and wait in it again. And I only bring this up because they had the not Itachi, not Ikatani, Isho? No. Am I making up words? It's a name. It's the name for the cars that have like the waifu wraps on them. The really like modded. I don't want to say that they're initial D cars, because I don't know if they actually race them or if they've just modded their car. I'm assuming that they race their cars, but I don't know. The racers weren't, or the drivers weren't out there with their cars for me to really like confirm that information, which was kind of like a downside. But so they had an outside event that you could go and participate in, but if you left the convention hall you'd have to go back into that long line, and it took like 3 hours to get through that line. It was ridiculously long, and it was so hot. And I guess I'll show you my pictures of Bucciarati right here. You can tell like I'm not really wearing a whole lot of clothes, and I had double-sided tape like here and like kind of where like my breasts lay, just to make sure that I wasn't really flashing anyone, because I also had to wear pasties because his like lingerie piece underneath, like the lacy part, there was no mesh that covered the breast. It was just like a full net, so like my whole titty was like gonna be out. And I brought a little bralette that I could wear if something happened, but like it would show through in a way, and I didn't want to. I wanted it to look as Bucciarati as humanly possible, physically possible. And you would think that like, because I've been to so many cons, that I would know that like double-sided tape works well for photos, but if you're doing a whole day event, like that ain't gonna cut it, sister. And already by waiting in that line, like it was slipping and it was hot. But I love my cosplay, and I'm so happy with how it turned out, and I can't like wait to go to another con and wear it, because like I didn't think that like it would be so well received, only because like I've been working on this cosplay for so long, like since last summer, and I commissioned someone on Etsy to help me make like the print that you see on the cosplay, like those little black parts. And I had to iron those on myself. I went through so many different like pieces of clothing to kind of figure out what would work best with this cosplay, because I didn't want to do a full suit. Like I didn't want to do like a true Bucciarati. I wanted to do the girl version of Bucciarati, and I thought that's what it would be. I don't have any of the gold like in the arms and things. Like I don't have any of like the zipper accessories, and I was gonna try to make my tie gold, but like I just never got around to it. But I think it's okay. I think for what that is, it works. And what took me so long to complete this cosplay was the wig, because I hate styling wigs. I hate cutting wigs. Like I'm not a hair person, as you can tell. Like I don't know what's going on with my own hair, but with wigs, once you cut it, like that's it, sister. It's not growing back, and wigs are kind of expensive, and I don't want to screw it up, because for me, like I like to do a cosplay that is like exactly what that character's hair is gonna look like. And I know there's a line between like what's physically possible and then what's physically possible in an anime, and like trying to make anime hair realistic can be a hard like translation, but I try my best. I try my very, very best. I got 2 figures at the convention. They had like anime t-shirts and they had stickers and things like that, but like I don't know, the vendors that were selling stickers, I already follow a lot of them on Instagram, and I didn't see anything like a special drop or a special collection for this convention. And the stickers that I wanted, I had already purchased, so there wasn't really anything on that side to really buy. There were like some JoJo figures, like of Dio, of Joseph. I think there was one Josuke that I saw. And I would have gotten the Josuke figure, but I was really, really like on the hunt for Bucciarati, you know, like because I was already dressed as Bucciarati and he's my favorite JoJo. One of my favorite JoJos. And what I did find was t-shirts of him like licking Giorno and like saying, oh, I can taste, you know, liars through their sweat. And like there was a Diamond is Unbreakable shirt that had Josuke, and it had like the rest of the cast, which was really cool. But those weren't shirts that I couldn't not find easily online. Like they weren't anything special. Like they're the official merch of JoJo, but like they're not hard to find. I know where to find them and purchase those shirts. And they weren't selling them at like a cheaper rate or anything like that. But I also didn't, like, I spoke about this in a previous video, but I didn't just want to buy, I don't want to have just a bunch of anime t-shirts in my collection. Like, as much as I love my anime t-shirts, love them, I would want a t-shirt for every single anime that I love. That's also crazy ridiculous. Like, I also could get a figure for all the animes that I love. So I decided to go with figures, and the figures that I went with, I don't know, like, are these like Band Presto figures? I think these are figures that you can win in a claw machine, or they were like a part of the Kuji prizes, you know, like the lottery, like you buy the little lotto ticket, and depending on the letter you get is like the prize that you get. So the first one I want to talk about is, I did get a JoJo figure, but I got Iggy from part 3. You can't see it through the box, but he's so cute, and he comes in 2 forms. So he has like the smaller face, this was like figure B, and then the figure A was like his larger face. Now this was the last figure B that they had, and they had a few of the figure A, but I only got the figure A because my partner likes the Chihuahuas that have like, what are they called, like the deer heads, apple heads, deer, I don't know what they're called, but they have like the smaller, like cuter little faces. Well, I shouldn't say cuter, they're all cute, but they look like this Iggy, but he's so cute, and he's fuzzy to the touch. He's like a crushed velvet, and he, like, I don't know, he sits like, look at his cute little tail and his little legs. I have him on my bookshelf, so like when I'm on my computer and you walk into the office, you see him. He's super cute. I mean, R.I.P. Iggy, and if you don't know, you'll find out, but just watch JoJo. I don't know, I'm not gonna ruin it for you, but we love Iggy. We love Iggy, and he's the only dog with like a stand. The second figure I purchased, so they had Naruto figures, and I almost bought a Sakura figure because I'll insert a picture here, but it's the figure where she's just standing. She's not doing any dynamic poses or anything like that, and the figure doesn't have too much detail, and the painting is like, or the paint is flat and matte, so like it's not, there are other Sakura figures that I would rather have in my collection over this one, and they had young, like kid Naruto and kid Sasuke, and I almost purchased those two, but I have tons of Naruto and Sasuke figures. Like I have an almost complete like mini Chara collection. And there's other Naruto and Sasuke figures that I would like to have over these ones. So I just thought it's okay. But I got this launch figure, and she's so cute. So it's made launch. I almost bought both of them because they had the blonde and the blue haired launch. but I got the blue-haired one because I don't know if I just like her more, but I think I would want Desert Rebel Launch and like her desert outfit, and I like Cute Launch or Sweet Launch in her like maid outfit. So it was fine, it was suiting. If they were like posed to like stance like shoulder to shoulder, I probably would have purchased both, but because they're both in the same direction, it would have been hard to model them together. And I don't really have a huge place to put figures. I put them all on my bookshelf, so I would also need to find space for her. They're large. So she's a pretty big figure. She's super cute. I love the detail in her hair. Like you could see the individual strands, and even her face up close is super cute. And the paint on this, like I only ask if this is like a Ban Presto because this is really, really well done. I have a Ban Presto Nezuko, and not that she's like poorly painted, but it's like not top quality. Like it's not like, you know that it's not a Mega House figure, you know what I mean? But this one's cute. It's like my little samurai from Lupin. He connects at the waist, and she also does too, so there's a little bit of like a gap right here. I can fix it with some putty, but I'll play with it later. The only downside that I hate to these kind of figures is like her stand bothers me, because it has like this hole right in the center where her foot would go, and there's only like a little hole in the bottom of her shoe. And so you kind of have to like, it doesn't meet very flush, and her foot goes through like this hole, as you can, I don't know if you can see her foot going through that hole, but it's just like, it's awkward. So I don't understand the point. You can't see me putting her on my desk, but it's hard. It's hard to fit her in there. Okay, that will just have to do for now. It's hard to fit her in there, but she's super cute. And I didn't think I would come home with like a Dragon Ball figure, because going to this con also just reminded me about how much I don't know, am I a hipster for saying this? But I don't really care for Dragon Ball merchandise and like top tier anime. Like this was the reason why it took me so long to even get into Attack on Titan, and it's one of my favorite animes of all time. Because I don't know, like when a series gets super popular, that the like mass weeb demographic gets into it, it's just everywhere. So you're almost just like, it's almost too much to take in. And like I said, everything was Tanjiro, and then all the merchandise was like, every single stand had the same like 20 Dragon Ball Z figures, like Goku doing the same pose, Vegeta doing the same pose, Trunks, Cell, all of them, that I was kind of just like over it. And I think too, when it comes to Dragon Ball, like you get a lot of Goku and Vegeta, and I understand that there are more male leading characters than there are female, but you have characters like Bulma and Chi-Chi where you can make figures out of them, and especially Launch too. So I was just excited to see Launch, and I thought she was like a special kind of rare Dragon Ball figure to have. So I was really excited about that. And I want to talk about the cars just real quick, because it seems like it was the same. I think there were about 10 cars in total at this event that were on display. And I don't know, I think I saw better cars in the parking lot to get to the convention than actually on display. Not to say that these cars were like poorly done. If I can find pictures of them, maybe I'll insert them here. But like, cause there was a Shinobu one, I think there was like a Miku one, there was a Dragon Ball one, there was one that was just like hentai girls, which it's fine, but I don't know, I think these were just cars for the display, not for like the driving. And I think the ones in the parking lot, like I think you could tell that people like try to race or try to drift with them. For me, I'm more into cars and like the initial D scene, I guess, like cars that people are like actually like driving and I shouldn't say racing, but like drifting, things like that. Obviously safely, please don't do anything illegal. I'm not encouraging that, but because my partner and I go to the track together and they're very into cars, and we're going to an event this weekend. We're going tomorrow to go look at cars, so I'm going to try and at least film that, because that will probably be a bit more entertaining. I think there's going to be some cool cars out there, but I was just kind of expecting to see something a little bit more like wow, especially because like out in the desert area, there is like huge, California as a whole is like huge car culture, especially in Southern California, and especially in the area where we're at, because there's just tons of like places to take your car and drive and do the whole scenic photo thing. But I do have a picture that I'm going to insert here, and it's like with a car that has this Hisoka wrap, and I thought this was so cool. We saw it when we were going into the convention, and I said, if this car is still here when we get back, I want to take a photo with it, because obviously I would cosplay Hisoka. I would do like my version of a Hisoka cosplay, I think. I already have a mask that I like hand embroidered with Hisoka's marks on it, but I thought it was so cool. And so that was my experience at Animanga. I thought it was okay. The line was like crazy long. The masks were a little bit, or the lack of masks was a little bit scary, but I think overall it was like a fun con to go to. I'm seeing tons and tons of people saying like, never again am I gonna go to that. That was whack, that was lame, blah blah blah. But it was a con where the ticket was $25. It was mostly going to be a spot where you could get anime merch and like have something to do for the weekend. It wasn't going to be anything like Comic-Con or I don't know. I can't even remember what big like anime conventions there are anymore. It's been so long, because they all kind of come and go. Like you get a bunch of small ones like this that just kind of pop up, and then like sometimes they get like really big, so then like they become like hot ticket conventions to go to, and then they just kind of drop off. The events for this con, like they had the kid who voices Tanjiro in the English dub, he was there, so I guess I kind of understand why there was more like Demon Slayer stuff, but they didn't have too many like, there wasn't too many like panels to go to, and usually when there aren't enough, like a ton of panels to go to, tickets will be cheaper. There was cosplay contests and like gaming contests or competitions. I didn't enter the cosplay contest because I didn't even have the option to when I purchased my ticket, and I don't know how, like I just don't know if like maybe you signed up for it when you got to the convention, but we were maybe there for like 4 hours or so. We were just kind of perusing between like the anime merch side and the artist section, and it was just, I don't know, like I wouldn't say it was like a mall experience, but it was definitely more of a convention of like, I want to buy anime goods. And so that was my experience at Animanga at the Ontario location. So let me know in the comments down below, are you going to be going to the other 2 locations? I think there's one in Vegas and there's one in Florida. How do you like my Bucciarati cosplay? And I don't know, are you a big Demon Slayer fan? Are you gonna go buy a Tanjiro cosplay from Easy Cosplay? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.